I'm Dr. Craig Escude, the host of IDD Health Matters, a podcast where we talk about health, wellness, and health equity for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome to this episode of IDD Health Matters. Our guest today is the one and only Tony Stuart.
You know, I like to be the one and only, but there's this other guy who races, and I always get confused with him.
You're the one and only in my book, Tony.
My G, yes. And my tan is better too.
Definitely, yes. So Tony is the guy that got me started in this. First of all, we'll start off with that, okay. which is incredible, and I thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to do these podcasts. How did we get together again,
dude? I can almost slightly remember the day, but I remember being in my office, and this is when LinkedIn was really kind of like really just hitting the scene. I think that a lot of professionals were getting on. Mm-hmm. And you had a video of some sort that just stuck out to me. And it was in regards to healthcare and physicians being more humanized towards our DD patients. And I was like, wow, I have a connection with that. So, hell, I'm that person. If you say Jeff Bezos is in town, I'm going to try to find a hotel and send him a note or something. So I just happened to call your offices, and you know, from there, the rest was kind of magical history.
We hit it off immediately when we first started talking. There was no doubt.
Dude, our first conversation, it just felt like I already knew you.
Same here.
And it's just, I knew you were a little hesitant. Again, who is this guy calling me, asking me to do this, that, and the other? But within, I don't even think it really took you a week to really think it through. You contact me back and like, hey, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, so we started off doing Medical Mondays.
Yes.
So there's a little 3-minute segments or so about a particular health.
With great information, people. Go check it out if you haven't. Like, I'm telling you, this guy is a genius.
No. You're too kind. I'll send you your check later.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we started off doing those, and I did about 80 of those episodes or so, and we decided to take it to a different level. And you once again encouraged me to jump out on a limb a little bit more. And now we're doing IDD Health Matters.
Yes, I think we both started to see that Medical Mondays were getting a little stale, and not from an informational standpoint, but people like us, I think we're constantly looking for the evolution of what we're doing. Yep. And, you know, when you have people like that in your life and you're a person like that, I can just see it on your face. Like, you know, as you're doing them, like, yes, it needs to grow. This needs to be more. And I remember us having the conversation about it, and you're thinking the same thing, you know, slowly. And as we're still trying to influence each other, the IDD Health Matter, it sprung.
It did. And so now, you know, we talk about things with a health-related slant, but really the field of supports and services for people with IDD, speaking to people in all different walks of life in this field, from state directors to organization leaders to direct support professionals to self-advocates. And to people who run provider agencies. So, Tony, let's talk about what you do in this field.
Well, I like to call myself the first DSP of my company, but I am CEO, owner, and, executive operator.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. When you own a company, you have to be everything. Do it all. Sometimes I'm the janitor. When I come in, I have to vacuum, clean, and do whatever has to be done. But
it's called Friends for Life.
Yes. Yeah. Friends for Life Residential Care, not to be confused with the Friends for Life podcast that you all should be
definitely need to be listening to that one too, no doubt.
But
I know the guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy from what he says. But I've always been envisioned to do this a little differently because of a family member of mine had an intellectual disability. And I had the opportunity to grow up in a household and in a world and in a setting that was not a limitation. That was, okay, your problem. Now you have to figure out how to go through life. So I just had a different click up here. Now, one of the things that always irritates me is the red tape in this field.
If we could only just do, provide the service, provide the care. It's the same thing in healthcare.
Yes.
All the paperwork, all the things you've got to go through.
All those nuances that really do not help the individual in the long run.
Yeah.
But as I begin to find myself Greg, I am what they call a hustler. Now, I don't want that to be confused with any negative connotations that people think of a hustler to be. But from a very young age, I've always seen capitalism and the marketplace value. So I would buy candy and sell the candy at cheaper pieces and so on and so forth. I didn't see that in this field when I first started. What I saw was compassion and caring. I'm more of a compassionate and caring person. Growing up, I was not the biggest kid. I was not the most defined person to win a fight. And one of the first fights I ever got into was because someone was talking about my Uncle Larry. And I always tell people, I lost that one. But I will go to the steps of Congress and fight for every single individual now to this day, if need be. But it helped me reflect on the things that my uncle went through in his darker times or his rougher times and how he conquered them, and knowing that I could do the same. So as I began to really grow customer service side of me, when I started working as a teenager at Burger King, BK, have it your way. Yeah. But that helped me understand that the average person, honestly, I don't think that we understand that they might have a delay of sorts that has not been diagnosed.
That is true.
I used to sit in the front counter, and someone who just accidentally got pickles on their sandwich, when they ask for no pickles, are ready to go nuts. And being able to help diffuse that situation started showing my calling for being a person who can converse and articulate ways that people can calm down, be a lot more, I guess, manageable for a conflict. And now I'm really going somewhere with this. So, okay. So as time progressed, I've had plenty of family who worked in the field. One of my main goals was to own a Burger King. One of the things my father taught me was, if you want to do anything, you work there, you learn the system, and you open your own. I did not do that with Burger King because I didn't feel as if I would be able to change the organization from where I was. But then I was offered opportunity to come work for the Lucas County Board of DD. And when that happened, I got to see how much of my family had already been involved. I got to see that they were directors here, this, that, and the other, boom, boom, boom. And it was just like, whoa, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. And I surely was. But once I started, all those skills from a teenager on up for dissolving situations,
resolving conflict,
yes, all of that, like, it worked. I was just great at it, and that takes me to where I am today. I am an awesome people's person. I think that I can walk in a room, spark a light of anybody in any occasion for any situation. And if I can't, honestly, you are like one of 99.
I would agree with that. You do have a certain charisma about you. There's no doubt.
So I am more or less, I know all the nuances now, 24 plus years later. I have enough experience that not too much shocks me. It's honestly getting to the cause, to the root of things. But my number one vision is making sure that our individuals have the best care if they are unable to care for themselves, or the best team to be able to create self-sustainability. I am huge in self-sustainability. So if that means we need to use remote supports, if that means that we need to use certain odds and ends, if we need to find certain people, I have asked judges to be DSPs before. I'm telling you, I don't stop.
I bet that was eye-opening for them.
It was. They said no, but but it was still wow, this guy came to me and asked, because honestly, it was a situation in which one of my individuals was in court on a charge for felonious assault. And he had some mental health issues going on. And we all know, if you're in this field, the mental health and the DD side are so just meshed.
Intertwined.
Yes. And it's not in a good way, because there are so many places that will say, no, that's not us to go here. Then no, that's not us to go there.
That's one of the reasons I advocate for integrative care so much. It's so important, especially in this field, because so many things related to medical conditions and mental health conditions are so intertwined and overlap, and sometimes one appears as the other, or the other one appears as the other.
Correct.
And it can be very complicated, very difficult to sort out, which is one of the challenges in providing health care in this field, frankly. But you really need to have that integrated approach and treat the whole person. I mean, that's good for everybody, not just people with IDD. But in this field, there's so much overlap that you really need that integrative approach, I believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's why I'm so happy to have you as a person in my council now. This is a very, very tough field to sometimes manage for solutions. It's easy for us to always point out the problems, but solutions take a little more time to actually detail and think through. So, I mean, really, you are an awesome dude.
Oh, Tony, come on now. Don't make my head too big.
Man, come, let's blow it up.
No, good stuff. No, you're a great guy too.
Well,
now, tell me how long has Friends for Life been?
Friends for Life is going on its 8th year, coming 2024.
Great.
We have had our ups and downs, especially through.
We all do.
We all know what happened in 2020, that pandemic stuff. But it helped change for us to pivot our trajectory.
So what's the future?
The future is, honestly, right now we're working on Montgomery County. We're expanding there. We're in several different counties up in Northwest Ohio. And I'm happy to say, between the podcasting and the natural growth of things, we are on a hockey stick. I think we've hit our lowest that we're going to hit. Right now, shooting up.
I love what you're doing with the podcasting, not just because I'm involved with it, but you guys have your own things that you're doing with podcasting, and it's for the right reasons, and it really is moving this field into the current age of the current, bringing it to where people get information now in the way that they get information, and that's really important and very valuable for this field. So Tony, one thing that I do with all my guests is I do 3 and 3. So 3 things in 3 minutes, 3 tips, 3 words of wisdom, 3 things that you would like other people to know about that you think can improve the world for people with IDD.
Okay. All right.
Take your time. I know the editor, he can edit this stuff out.
Yeah, that's what I like. So the first one, what's the first one again? You said 3 tips?
Yeah, three tips that you think that you want people to know that can improve the world of health and wellness for people with IDD.
First, do it from your heart first. Do not expect anything in return. Just be kind, and that'll be gracious. Ask if you are going to be in a person's life, ask everything before you request
or
make an assumption.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And the third one is appreciate our differences.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that is very big in my eyes, because if you appreciate someone's differences, you will understand where your differences might be appreciated elsewhere. And
great words of wisdom from the great Tony Stuart, the compassionate hustler.
Yeah, yes,
is that right?
My man.
Man, thank you so much for being here with me today, and more importantly, for the incredible work that you do in the field.
Thank you, my friend.